music lovers, and welcome to today's episode of Folk Music History. We're doing something a bit different today, a bit lighter. Since the last couple episodes were kind of heavy on serious topics, I decided to switch it up and do something the fashion side of folk music. Okay, today's video is if folk music had an aesthetic, what would that be? What would that look like? The video is more on a reaction to all the YouTube videos and Pinterest posts out there on fashion trends, fashion aesthetics. There's cottagecore, witchycore, bohemian, dark academia. There's tons of stuff out there. Me being someone who spends way too much time probably on Pinterest and YouTube, I wanted to try to find where my style fit into which aesthetic. And then I realized, what about folk aesthetic? Is there a folk aesthetic? Is there an official folk aesthetic? So I did what everybody does and just search folk music aesthetic or folk fashion aesthetic. The only things that came up when I searched that was a folkwear clothing company posts and then pins on Taylor Swift outfits from her new album Folklore. And I mean, there are some overlaps in there for sure, but not really what I was looking for. That got me inspired to make this video on what I would define folk fashion aesthetic to be. And let me just go ahead and say that this is all my personal opinion. There was not really any real research done. It was just me browsing Pinterest and finding what I like based on my style, and it just happened to fit into what I would classify as the folk fashion aesthetic. So let's get started. So first, I define the folk fashion aesthetic to be a mix between bohemian and cottagecore, or more specifically, bohemian with a focus on Western style and cottagecore with more of a focus on prairie core and farmhouse aesthetic. That's like the general category I'm placing folk aesthetic to be. And so now we're going to talk about top 10 elements of folk aesthetic. Number 1, knitwear or oversized sweaters / cardigans. All of this is very trendy right now. I'm not making up anything new to you guys, but what I would suggest with oversized sweaters, if you're a person like me who has a short torso or petite body, so short in the shoulders, short in the torso, to wear an oversized sweater or really any top that matter, or like this sweater right here, I would recommend tucking it in your waistband, especially if it's if you're wearing high-waisted pants or skirt, or cinching the sweater at the waist with a belt. Let's see. I'll show that right now. So like this, I have a belt, I add it up high on my waist and then pull over. And this isn't the most flattering outfit to do that with, but it helps. So, ta-da. Or you can just say F it and just let it hang loose. That's what I'm doing today. But I do have the back tucked in. Whatever you're feeling that day. I don't make the rules around here. Or you can just let it hang loose over a flowy skirt or dress. Which leads me to number 2. Number 2, flowy floral skirts / dresses. Stick with the rule of 3 here. Flowy, floral, fringe. And if you do that, you'll be hitting that bohemian and witchy components to a T, which is what we want with folk aesthetic, right? We're hitting that bohemian component of the folk aesthetic. Number 3, earth tones plus flowery tones. And earth tones, we know what those are. I didn't make that one up. Burgundies, marigolds, browns, dark greens, and then flower tones, I just kind of made it up. I don't know if it exists or not, but what I call flower tones, creams, blues, pinks. So it's kind of like you think of blending Hobbit meets Flower Child and get what you got the color scheme for folk aesthetic. Number 4, farm dresses / linen prairie dresses. With this one, you can play around with the Victorian history bounding and get more of a prairie look, or a women of the Appalachian look, or, you know, Anne of Green Gables, Little House on the Prairie thing going on with that. Number 5, collar shirts / button downs. These paired with long skirts and a belt and a vest, or a long skirt and suspenders, you can really play with the vintage Western Calamity Jane vibe. So that can be really fun. Number 6, plaid / tartan. I guess we should call it tartan because plaid is really technically the fabric piece that you wear, and the tartan is the actual pattern. So I'm talking about the pattern itself. So tartan skirts, tartan dresses, tartan accessories. You know, you could really play on the Outlander look with this one too, as well as number 5. This is slowly turning into Outlander aesthetic video. Oops. It's so hard to resist. You know, I'm a big Outlander fan, which you will learn together as we go through this YouTube journey. So fair warning. Okay, number 7, embroidery. European folk costume and or like the peasantry of Europe look. So embroidery is like a shout out to that, which is very folk. I mean, folk costume, it's in the name. Number 8, bell bottoms. And we've all known for a while, if you're following the trends, if you're following the fashion trends, skinny jeans as of 2020, 2021, they've been heading out for a little while. And with the leave of skinny jeans comes more the straight leg, baggier pants, flare jeans. So let me officially say, skinny jeans have left the building. But if you didn't get the memo, it's okay, because I still wear skinny jeans sometimes. I'm not gonna throw away a pair of jeans because it's no longer in trend. I'm gonna keep it because they fit and I like the way they look. So we're not gonna worry about that. You do you. With the leave of skinny jeans, bell bottoms are back, and they're here in denim, in stripes, in solids, in corduroy, in crushed velvet, and even in fringe. You know, you name it, they're back, and they're vintage, and they're bohemian, witchy, just like they're so much of what I define folk aesthetic as. So I have to say that I don't own a pair myself, but I would be very excited if I did. So if you do, you're ahead of the game for folk aesthetic in my book. Number 9, minimalist gold jewelry. So that's gold stacked necklaces, vintage brooches, right here, vintage brooches, which aren't really minimalistic. I wouldn't wear it at the same time, you know. Minimalistic gold band ring, you know, it can make a statement, but you know, a small one. It's casual. I feel like, you know, we're not all fancy. It's understated. And number 10, I kind of like cheated and put in combined 2 things for number 10, but it's because they're both accessories and they both go really well together that I just put them in the same one for number 10. So that is hats and short boots. They complement each other so well, it's hard to have one without the other. With the right hat and short boots, it'll just add the folksy to any ensemble. Alright, and that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, maybe it was helpful to you. Maybe you're looking to spruce up your wardrobe, spramp up your wardrobe, and finding new ways to add your own folksy style to it. And maybe you wanted some inspiration to do that, or maybe you are new to folk music performing or looking to find an outfit to wear for your next folk band performance, and I hope this got your creative juices flowing. Anyway, it was a nice casual video. I hope you enjoyed it. I upload every other Friday on Folk Music Fridays. Let me know down in the comments what you think are important components to your folk aesthetic style. And again, this is all my personal opinion. I don't make the rules. You don't have to do anything that I said in this video. This is just for fun, just for fun, just for inspiration, and to do something a little different. And let me know if you enjoy this kind of content, and maybe we can make more of it. I'm here for you guys, and thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Folkwear clothing brands, or the folkwear clothing store, the only thing that came up was the folkwear clothing company posts, and Taylor Swift album, or Taylor Swift. I would recommend wearing it either tucked in, a high-waisted, tucked into the waistband at high in the waist, flowy, floral, and do earth tones plus collared shirts, with the leave of skinny jeans. Bell bottoms are back, and they're here with they've come, no. That's stacked gold necklaces, that's vintage brooches. Let me get some